for tuning in to Sports Blitz. It's Rob and your man Zay. We're tuning in from Hialeah, Miami, South Florida area, podcasting live weekly. We're going to top into the most trending topics in the sports world. We're going to talk a little basketball, a little baseball, what's going on right now, try to crunch up everything. First thing we're going to talk about, Jose, is the Cavs Game 3. Right? Now, we saw the game. We saw Game 2. We're looking at Game 3 now. Obviously, Game 2 was a blowout. It's going to go down in the books as a blowout, honestly. Realistically speaking, what do we need from the Cavs come in Game 3 that we didn't see in Game 2? And maybe we saw a glimpse of Game 1. What do we need coming down the stretch?
Well, first and foremost, definitely bench J.R. Smith. I mean, the guy is just a ghost of his former self out there. I feel like that's move number one. And I gotta tell you this before, man. If I was a GM of that team, I would have handed him a check and be like, yo, here's your check. Get out. You're gone. I don't need you for the rest of the year to say, There's no need for J.R. Smith, to be quite honest. I feel like he's just that weight at this point. The Cavs just need to show up. I mean, the team has not shown up whatsoever besides LeBron given. He's, probably the GOAT. The team needs to show up. Kevin Love needs to show up. I mean, it's funny how Kevin Love was this, world beater at Minnesota. It definitely wasn't a world beater because they didn't make the playoffs ever. But, he was putting up the stats. And this just shows you how putting up good stats on a crappy team doesn't mean nothing in this league. Because him now is just, like the same thing. Shell off from himself, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Looking back at some of the stats here, we got Kevin Love for 22 points and 10 rebounds. Some would say he had his best game in a while, and even that was not enough because he put that up in 35 minutes.
That's my thing, Like, even when he goes out there and he drops you his 20 points and he's giving you 10 rebounds, which is like, okay, that's a solid game for him. I feel like it doesn't do nothing for, the Cavs. I feel like it doesn't nudge the needle any more higher than it would before. So it's like, you got to make an impact out there. So if he's dropping 20, but he's getting scored on constantly on the other end of the floor, it's not making it work.
Which brings me to my next point. I was looking at the players out there, right? We have George Hill going for 15, Tristan Thompson going for 11, Clarkson going for 2 points in 8 minutes, right? And of course, Brown with the near triple double. But what I was thinking was, in the Cavs Game 3 and in Game 2, I feel like I'm going to look at a Cavs team that doesn't want to play anymore. Defensively, they don't look like they care. I've never seen so many easy points in a basketball game before. I feel like I'm at the park watching the veterans play the rookies, and it's becoming a blowout. The only reason they're hanging by is because of LeBron.
I mean, we could both agree that this Cavalier team that LeBron currently has is by far the worst team he has ever had in the finals, including this. Besides maybe the team in 06 when he won and he took that team with Boobie Gibson as the second best player, in my opinion. They got swept by San Antonio. I mean, that team was probably worse than this one. But at the end of the day, this is pretty much LeBron's doing. As you can see, I'm pretty sure he was cool with all these trades that were made, and it did not work out. And I want to ask you this, Robert: does the team he have now compared to the team he had at the beginning of the year, who wins more games? Who wins in a best of 7 series between those two teams?
I mean, I'll tell you this, and everyone says the same thing every year with the Cavs. They're not making it here. They're not making it to the playoffs. The Cavs are a very complacent team, but the team the Cavs had before this roster was definitely a better team. They had Kyrie Irving.
Well, no. Well, not like I'm talking about in the beginning of this year. When they had Isaiah. Curry was already traded. They had a whole different squad.
Oh, when they had Isaiah?
They had a whole different squad. They had a whole different chemistry. Crowder, Isaiah. It's like it was a whole different thing going on there. Do you feel like that team was more talented than the team they have now, or do you feel this team that they have now is more talented? They're just underachieving. Who wins more games in the best of 7 series between those two teams? Obviously, LeBron's on both teams, given that he's gonna negate whatever he provides on both teams. Because let's say LeBron covers LeBron. Who wins more games? Was it the right decision, in my opinion? I'm just asking this real quick. Was it the right decision for LeBron and basically tell them to trade everybody, get a whole new squad that'll work out? Because to be quite honest, the thing I see on TV, I see a way worse squad than years before and years past. So it's like,
yeah, I definitely feel like the front office for the Cavs isn't making the best decisions. I feel like they were expecting a lot more. And something I had a conversation with one of my friends, one of my buddies with today was the Cavs, I feel like sometimes the Cavs look at certain players who were at some point in their prime a viable option, like a Darren Williams, like a Derrick Rose, or even like a George Hill, who at some point showed some sort of spark of talent, and they look to revive players like that. Play at a high level with LeBron to chase a title, and it's just not working out. Defensively, the team's a breakdown. They can't get the points to stop. And if you can't get the points to stop on Golden State, there's no way you're winning Game 3. I think the key factors for this game is to play tough defensively. I know George Hill scored 15. He was offensively aggressive. But for everybody else, Tristan Thompson, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 23 minutes. We need more rebounds from Tristan Thompson. Jordan Clarkson, he needs to put up way more points. 2 points in 8 minutes. He has not contributed.
Well, that's a snitch,
all.
right? But here's the thing: he's scared of the moment. Ronnie Hood scared of the moment. I mean, this is what I see. I mean, I feel like those guys are just not cut out for it. They don't want to be there. They don't want, and they don't know what to do at that moment. Like George Hill's been there, done that. And here's the thing about I just one quick thing about George Hill. When he got traded for, he was, I believe, leading the league in 3-point shooting. You know,
right.
So it's something they needed. And the Cavs, if I'm not mistaken,
3-point shooting percentage, right?
If I'm not, yes, 3-point shooting percentage. If I'm not mistaken, then the Cavs lead the league in 3-point shots made. If I'm not mistaken, what's the name?
Not towards the end of the season, but maybe towards.
I mean, I think when it was all said and done, they were, definitely top 5 when 3-point shots made. Right, so the trade itself, that's one of the reasons they made the trade, so you could get better shooting on there. I guess when you look at it in that sense, it worked out. But you traded for some unproven players who have not been there, have not done that. And now you see it's kind of biting them in the butt a little bit here with the whole Ronnie Hood, Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance. Even though Given Nance has played some solid games in the playoffs, I just feel like, these guys have not been there proven. And this is the year they're like, oh, wow. After this year, possibly next year, they'll probably be better because now they know what it takes and what needs to get done in order to win the finals. But it was just a bad setup for them this year.
I agree. And not to talk too much about the Cavs going into Game 3 because as a fan, I'm not enjoying Game 2. As a fan, I really did enjoy Game 1. I felt like there was a lot of calls that weren't made, but Game 2 was absolutely a blowout. But I will say this. The Cavs definitely need help. That's a proven fact. One thing's one. Jeff Green didn't have a great Game 2. He needs to have an amazing Game 3, just like George Hill, Kevin Love, and Tristan Thompson. Another key player that's going a little underrated in my opinion is Kyle Korver. He's been hitting big shots. Not only is he hitting big shots, like I said, offense isn't gonna win a championship. Like they said, offense wins games, defense wins championships. Kyle Korver has been low key getting the right blocks, the right steals, and putting the right pressure on the right players at the right times. Is he always there as a viable option? No, he's one of their oldest players, if not their oldest player. He can't be putting up all the hustle, but what I'm saying is, at his age, he's competing at a higher level than he thinks he can play, and I like what he's doing. I think they need to give him more minutes. I think LeBron needs to have a conversation with him and let him know he can be much more aggressive. He did 17 minutes and 1 point in this game. That's not enough. That's not going to cut it. That being said about Kyle Korver, being teammate of LeBron, right? There's certain stats that pertain to you. And that being said, LeBron's down 0-2, and he's been here before. Is there something he likes? I doubt it. But I'll tell you one thing. LeBron James teams are 3-4 when 0-2 in a playoff series. Teams without LeBron, 17-277. I'm not saying he's making out of the series alive in the easiest stretch at all. But what I'm saying is if there's someone who's just not throwing in the towel and at least putting it all on the floor, it's that man. What are your takes on LeBron, Jose?
Well, I mean, I will hope so, given his talents, that he will give it his all every single minute that he's on that floor. And given, you see LeBron during the regular season, he coasts, but he's not going to coast in the playoffs. And this is what he's here for. This is what he's built for. You're the best player in the NBA. You're bigger, better, stronger, faster than anybody else in the NBA for the most part. You should be able to dominate and do it for an extended period of time. Though it's still a team game, and like you said, LeBron can only do so much. And against a Golden State team who has 4 All-Stars, perennial All-Stars, I mean, I just feel like no matter what he does, they can't overcome the talent gap that they have in between them.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the toughest series he's facing. That being stated, back to the Warriors now. Curry, most ever in an NBA Finals game. He passes Ray Allen by hitting 9 3-pointers. blowing out the Cavs in Game 2. Where do you rank Curry among point guards and shooters? And what's your take on him and what he's doing right now in these NBA Finals?
Well, I'll start off with shooter. He's the best shooter of all time, hands down. I don't care. Doesn't matter. He could finish his career right now. He'll still be the best shooter of all time. Um, but Clay is a second best to him. It's pretty close. I'm not gonna lie. Curry has him. I'm not gonna lie. But Clay is a close second to him. And Curry's just a transcendent talent, man. I mean, it's just unbelievable the kind of threes he hits off balance, no looks, coming off picks. It's just the guy's unbelievable. As far as top point guards, I don't think he's the best point guard in the NBA. Right. Just for the fact that he's the best shooter in the NBA. He's just not the best point guard because I don't think he facilitates the way, let's say, Chris Paul can, or he could run the team the way Chris Paul can. So I don't consider him the best point guard in the NBA. I mean, if you want to just account for like scoring, he's probably the best scoring guard in the NBA. I mean, Westbrook could probably give him a run for his money, even though Westbrook will be shooting a lot lower percentage, to be quite honest. But Curry's just amazing, man. We're watching a Hall of Famer, and this is the thing I try to tell people. I was telling my boy this the other day. People gotta appreciate all-time great talent that we have in front of us right now. Can't take it for granted. LeBron's going to be one of the all-time greats, if not the best that ever played this game. And Curry will be the best shooter that ever played this game. And we just got to take it and enjoy the ride that we have for the moment. We're going to see some unbelievable things. But you got to remember, at the end of the day, Father Time is unbeaten. And, this will go away. So I just enjoy the moment. Enjoy Curry hitting those crazy shots. Don't hate on the guy, man. Encourage the shots. Now, did he change the game in the NBA? Sure. For the better? Maybe not. But it makes it a hell of a lot more fun to watch, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Jose. Watching Steph Curry is definitely going down as one of the all-time greats. Playing, with LeBron and KD, I wonder what things will be like, 10, 15 years from now when I get to tell my kids or family members, we got to witness that. And that being said, what Curry's done to the game, he's brought a whole new level as far as shooting. Not only shooting, but shooting range.
Absolutely.
When have we seen a guy shoot the three-pointer that far and that quick? He gets the ball off so quick. He's such a hard cover, and he's so accurate. He has a great floater, and now he's showing that he can be very aggressive in the lane. So Curry's doing it all. He really is. I feel like that's the reason why, that's what KD saw in him. He said, this guy's a playmaker. This guy's a competitor. I want to go play in Golden State. I want to get a championship ring.
Man,
and now they're 2 games away.
KD took the easy way out, man. That's a whole other topic for a whole other day, to be quite honest, man. Because snake in the bush. That's all I got to say, guys. Snake in the bush.
Anyways, that being said, now that the Cavs are down 0-2, people are wondering, right? If this series is almost over, what is LeBron's future? Where is he going? Who does he match up well with? And what would you say is the best move that could probably happen in the offseason that would entice LeBron to signing somewhere? Now we have some of the odds out from the Vegas report, but I want to hear your take, Jose. What do you say LeBron goes next season after Cleveland?
Oh, I mean, that's difficult. If I was Nostradamus here, I wouldn't be doing this right now, to be quite honest. I'll be out there playing the lotto and winning it. But, given that, I feel like a team could put themselves in a better position than Cleveland has, because I feel like Cleveland is just going to leave a very sour taste in LeBron's mouth. Even though it's his hometown, he's left before, so I feel like leaving this time around wouldn't be as hard for him. And like I said...
Does he want a ring from him?
You're completely right. He already got the city of ring, so right. I feel like he feels like he can accomplish his one goal that he had set out for his life, Given that, once again, I just can't get over the fact that they will leave a very bitter taste in his mouth, probably getting swept. It looks that way. I said Golden State in 5, but it looks like a sweep. It looks like a straight-on sweep, to be quite honest. And I don't think LeBron going back. So I know everybody's mentioning Philly, Houston, but my very dark horse team is the LA Lakers. And I know people have said the Lakers have a possible shot, and it takes a lot of work for them to do it, but hear me out here. We all know Magic Johnson runs the Lakers. Who is the one player LeBron's compared to the most besides Jordan? Magic Johnson. So you know that alone is probably giving like be able to pick his brain a little, see what he thinks about the game and the way he looks at the game and see if we think similar or see the game in a similar way. They have a ton of cap room and they have a ton of flexibility when it comes to trades. So they could make it happen. If they sign a Paul George along with Lonzo, even though Lonzo didn't have the greatest rookie season of all time, he did average double digit in points. He averaged about 10 assists a game with a good solid 7 rebounds a game. So the kid could play. And at the end of the day, he was a rookie. Not many rookies go out there and become Ben Simmons and Donovan Mitchell. They're far and few in between. You got a little nucleus there. Ingram, I like him. Once again, he could develop into something a little better. You got Kuzma, which I really like that kid. He was very surprising, by the way. I didn't think he could score that way. Let's say they sign Paul George, and they go ahead and package Kuzma and an Ingram for, let's say, a Kawhi Leonard. That's intriguing now. If I'm LeBron and I'm looking at them two guys signing over there, along with Lonzo, it's pretty sweet. I don't gotta play defense because Paul George and Kawhi Leonard every single night are gonna be doing it. I could just go around. We could have Lonzo come off the bench and lead the second unit, so that way he could have the ball in his hand and be that go-to person to develop that point guard that we want. Because at the end of the day, LeBron's it's just only getting older, so he's not gonna always have the ball in his hand. And he needs some help. He doesn't have to be the go-to scorer, because that's where you have Paul George. That'll be his main niche in that team. Score the ball, get baskets. Kawhi Leonard's gonna lock people down, Paul George. So don't worry about getting tired at the end of the end because we got Kawhi for this. So LeBron, all you gotta do now is distribute, play freely, use your basketball brain. You're probably the most intelligent basketball player that ever played. You saw how he recalls plays from the game hours later, like to extreme detail. The guy is just amazing. So I mean, I just feel like the LA Lakers. Yeah, well, almost the Clippers there, but the Clippers will never get LeBron. LeBron has said this multiple times; he will never play for them. But the LA Lakers are a dark horse to sign LeBron. And I feel like even then, they could probably even still do a sign and trade with Cleveland, let's say, and give Cleveland some assets just to get LeBron, so Cleveland doesn't have that sour taste in their mouth. I love the way it happened with the Miami Heat.
I can see that happening. I definitely think it's a great destination for him. We've talked about this before. He has houses there. It's a great city. He's used to the Miami. He was used to Miami weather. He went to Cleveland. He saw what he had to deal with there. My argument for that is I agree with you, but does LeBron want to play in the West Coast? Does he want to stray away from the East Coast? And what are the possibilities of Kawhi Leonard actually going to the LA Lakers and all of this working out? Is LeVar Ball a bad fit? It's
a long shot. You're absolutely right. It's a long shot.
Is Magic Johnson a role model to LeBron? Are conversations being had? And then you have the conversation with Houston where, he's friends with Chris Paul. I think that's his son's godfather. So you look at those things like that, and a team like the Rockets, who plays a very offensive system with Mike D'Antoni, will LeBron want to play there, join the West Coast, or would he rather buckle down with one of the best defensive players, Kawhi Leonard, leading steals, and Paul George, and potential All-Star in Lonzo Ball in LA? I can see it happening. I also feel like playing in LA, there's shoes to fill there. You got Kobe, who's put up banners there, Shaq, Johnson. It's a big arena. It's an honor to play there. My question is, I wonder if LeBron wants his own legacy, because I know he stated it before. But these are the odds. So supposedly there's Philly in first, Houston, LA, San Antonio, and then Miami. They threw Miami in there because Vegas is all for the win. So they're throwing out names just in case. They're putting out bets. They don't get overbetted and lose money. But as a fan, of course, we're from the South Florida area. We dream every night of having LeBron back in Miami, but I don't think he's coming back. I don't think he would make such a flip-flop in career locations like that. But if he did and assembled something down here, I would be absolutely okay with it.
Oh, ecstatic. Who wouldn't be? Anybody who would not be happy about LeBron signing with Miami is just a hater, to be quite honest. That's all you're doing is just being a hater, because there's no way you will not take a LeBron James on your team. no way in hell. I don't care if you're a Michael Jordan fan. I don't care to this day. If you're in Michael Jordan's era and there's a LeBron James out there and you could sign him, Michael Jordan will tell you, go get me that guy. Because at the end of the day, my job will be easier. So if I score 40 without LeBron, I'm gonna score 60 with LeBron. Since at the end of the day, my job will be that much easier. So it's anybody who says they don't want LeBron is just lying to you, and they're being a straight up hater.
Yeah, LeBron definitely makes any team better. That being said, we're gonna hop into baseball, MLB. Tonight was the MLB draft. We got a lot of prospects, a lot of certain studs out there showing potential. Jose, I want to ask you, what did we see out there? How did the draft go? Were you expecting all these players to go so quick or so late? And what sort of impact are we expecting next year in the?
Most definitely, Rob. It was a big night today for a lot of young men in the sport of baseball, getting drafted, getting to get their hearing their name called. It's a big thing. It's a big milestone in everybody's dream, Two guys that I really pay attention to is because they're from Florida. One of them was picked by the Marlins, local kid out of Tampa. Went to Plant High School in Tampa, the alma mater of Cal Tucker. Right now, top prospect for the Houston Astros. His name is Connor Scott. 6'4", 180 pounds. So he's a big kid out there. I mean, he got room to grow, put on some muscle, and hit for some power, which is the expectation for him. He plays a decent outfield. He plays a pretty good outfield. But the whole key is him developing that power. If the guy could develop a power and become a 25 homer guy in the big leagues, along with the type of defense he plays and gives you some steals, that's a very solid player for the 13th pick in the draft. You're talking about perennial all-star there. And he very comparable to Bradley Zimmer of the Cleveland Indians, who's hasn't put it all together in the big leagues, but you see the talent, you see the potential there.
Right.
Another guy that they were talking about and got drafted by my Red Sox. Go Red Sox, by the way, guys. His name is Tristan Casas. Played for American Heritage here at Plantation. Same school that Eric Hosmer went to and Devin Marrero went to. Big kid, 6'3", over 200 pounds. Plays third base. Can handle. A lot of people project him to be at first base. I'm very excited with this kid, man. He looks like as long as the bat is what it is, and a lot of people think that's his calling card, and it definitely looks that way. We could potentially see a 30, 35 homer guy with a nice little average here. Sean Casey type of player, but with more homers. Right. Sean Casey was a very solid big leaguer. He had a 14-year career. He had basically 300 for the most part in his career. If you add that with a guy who's hitting you 35 home runs, I mean, are we talking about maybe Big Papi 2.0 here? Who knows? What's your take on that, Rob?
No, yeah, I definitely agree. One of the players I've been looking at as well in the scout, it's one of those things. Now that people are comparing him to Big Papi, or some are really, he's almost the American version, right? Some might call him Big Daddy. But realistically speaking, another player I was looking at was Mr. Marlin's son, right? Griffin Conine, the 52nd picked by the Toronto Blue Jays, right? Up there, destroying the Cape Cod League. He had a great time there, got picked 52nd. Now, I don't know what it is with the Blue Jays, Jose, but they're 2 for 2 in picking professional players, kids. They drafted Vlad Guerrero Jr. and they drafted, Jeff Conine's son, Griffin Conine. So I'm looking to see what they experiment with, young talent. They got all the right tools in place, right? We know dads have the right, teachings and coachings around the thing. So I'm looking forward to see what they have. Like I said, he's from the up north area, so I'm sure he'll adapt fine. Be great to see him come down, Miami, get some ball games out here and see Mr. Marlin partake in it. But as far as that goes, the MLB draft was huge tonight. I thought we had some great experiences, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the MLB league brings this year and moving on forward from there on.
Oh, no, very excited. And you used to mention, follow up on this quick Blue Jays take that you had there. Wow, man. I mean, I feel like they have this thing where they just want to draft every former MLB player's son if they have the chance. Vlad Guerrero Jr., by the way, was just an absolute steal for them. He is an absolute monster. He is a man playing amongst boys, basically. The guy hit a hotel, hit a homer off a tee. I mean, he's done it all basically. It's just insane. Light tower power. Like the guy, it's an absolute beast. Then you go ahead and you throw in Bo Bichette, solid shortstop, has 15 steals already in the year, and it has a career 943 OPS in the minors. The kid has done nothing but hit. Very violent swing, but the guy makes it work, and he an incredible athletic player. Looks like the real deal. Those are the two top prospects in my opinion in the farm system right now for the Blue Jays, and they're both former players, former sons of former players. So it's looking good, and then not to be outdone, and his status a Hall of Famer, something that the other two guys, well, Vlad Guerrero is a Hall of Famer now, but he got there before Vlad. Greg Biggio's son, Gavin. Never was a huge prospect, but this year or last year made a swing change, and the guy has put it together, hitting 301 with a 429 on base percentage and a 630 slugging percentage. The kid is hitting 13 homers, 43 RBIs for the Double A team down there. Loaded squad, absolutely loaded squad. Now you get Griffin added to that. He won't be in Double A right away, but you know you can picture this 4 years, 5 years down the road where all four of them are playing together. It will be a sight to behold, to be quite honest. And it's a very exciting time now in the MLB draft, seeing all this young talent being brought up, and a lot of it being sons of former players. A guy that made his debut the other night, Derek Rodriguez, the son of Pudge Rodriguez. Bro, electric stuff. The electric stuff. I mean, I'm very excited to see how these kids all pan out and how well they're going to do in future MLB seasons.
It's honestly exciting to see just really any athlete grow from rookie to pro to expectations to beyond expectations or more. And just being a part of this draft is a great experience because you get to see that from start to finish. As long as you follow the sport, you will see growth in players, people, personalities, on the field and off the field, of course. But I definitely say this year's draft was a good one. Now, moving on to our next topic, we're going to hop into some of Miami's plans, what management team is seeking, what the Miami fans are feeling down here in South Florida area, and where we're going from there. Now, Jose, I want to ask you, as a fan and as an analyst, how do you feel about the moves Miami have been making recently? Are we going in the right direction? And what can you tell the fans that don't necessarily always understand the concept of baseball, managing money, and tying those two things at the same time?
Well, here's the thing about baseball. It's an individual sport. Yes, for the say that, it's for individual, you want to take care of your stats and, make sure. But it's also a team sport. Not to the extent of basketball where, if you guys are not playing together, you will not win a game whatsoever. Because you could go ahead and win a baseball game just because your pitcher went out there and threw a shutout. Your hitters may not necessarily hit nothing, but if one guy runs into one ball and your pitcher's on, you could win that game, So it's just, in my sense, it's about getting as much talent as possible and taking advantage of that window that baseball gives you. They give you a 6-year period of that player is yours. You can control that player. After year 3, they start making some good money. Absolutely, as you can see, this is why the Marlins trade everybody. The whole goal is, and if you see recent models, the Cubs, Astros, now the Braves are getting better. These are all teams that basically tanked, sucked for a long time, and have the Phillies are another example. They drafted talented players and developed these players slowly but surely, and now they have a real good young core of players to develop. And you see the fruits of the labor. The guys, they're absolute studs and they're making it and they're in the playoffs. Absolutely, because it's a game. Baseball before, at least in the steroid eras, the other guys were taking over because they were taking the steroids and they were able to maintain their pace. But now, since you have a lot less PEDs in the games, you see that it's a young man sport, basically. It's a young man sport. So what you want to do is get young, controllable asset as much as possible. Obviously, talent plays a big it's a big thing in there. But if you get some young, affordable, talented players that could grow together, you got to start at the beginning of something good or something special. And which is I feel like Derek Jeter, this is his whole goal and his whole plan. We traded away young Carter, we traded away Osuna, we traded away Yelich, but we got back some intriguing talent, to be quite honest. The Stanton trade was more about getting rid of his contract because it was, it's a huge contract and it was going to be a burden on us for the future. but we still got some, intriguing talent back. The Yelich trade gave us back Lewis Brinson, local guy from Fort Lauderdale. Lots of talent, lots of potential there, huge power. Hasn't been hitting this year, but you can see why they made the trade. We got back Sandy Alcatron for Osuna. He looks like a very solid pitcher, putting up great numbers right now in the minors. Has a blazing fastball. If the guy puts it all together and Briston puts it all together, you're talking about a middle of the order bat with a potential ace. You're not looking bad in the trades. You go along with a nice little solid draft. Let's say Connor Scott goes and develops. Trevor Rogers from last year, or some of these guys, that got hurt, end up developing and producing. The Marlins are gonna be in good shape. So it's all about patience. And I know a lot of people always say the same thing about the Marlins, but patience, patience, patience. But at least, in my opinion, you got to give Jeter the benefit of the doubt. Because let's say he does put a team together that does win how Loria did with Miguel Cabrera, and he had Hanley at one point. He never kept them guys together. So I want to see if Jeter goes in there and runs into a Miguel Cabrera. Is he going to lock him down? Is Miguel Cabrera going to be the face of our franchise? This is the most important part, or the most important question in my honest opinion about the Marlins, and it's just a matter of patience. So we got to see how it pans out.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I'm excited to see it. Like I said, I'm looking forward to the results and just being a fan of the game. That being said, we're going to leave you guys out with that information. Thanks for tuning in to Sports Blitz. Like I said, we're going to be having weekly podcasts. Keeping you guys tuned up to the latest sports, what's going on in the league. We like to keep it local as well, so we might target more of the South Florida area to keep our viewers, just based off of knowledge. We want to make sure we spread as much as we can, and keep the interesting topics going around the NBA, the MLB, the NFL, and other sports around the nation. So this is your boy Rob, Manze. We'll be signing off. Thanks again. Tune in next time.